Hello, and welcome to Living Local with Kim and Rani. We're here to bring you topics that you care about in our area. Whether it's entertainment and technology or giving back to the community, we have it covered. We're located here in Toledo, and we have friends, family, and coworkers all around Northwest Ohio, Southeast Michigan, and Erie County. Don't forget to subscribe if you like what you hear, and thanks for listening. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Living Local. We're really excited about this episode. Kim and I, over the past week, we explored some of our local coffee shops in the Toledo, Northwest Ohio area. Mm-hmm. We want to tell you all about them. So kind of what inspired this was, if you haven't heard, there is a Coffee Quest 419 that happens. One of the local coffee shops puts it on. They kind of get all together, give you like a card to like visit each different spot. So in the spirit of waiting for that lineup.
We couldn't wait for that.
We are so excited for that lineup. We can't wait to hear what shops are going to be included and go on our Coffee Quest. We kind of did our own little mini tour. So we started off at SIP in Westgate, Cricket West more specifically, right?
Sure.
So I remember going to it when I was younger. It used to be Sufficient Grounds.
Oh, yeah. It was the coolest place to hang.
Yeah.
So, obviously, if you're local, you went there. Like, at some point, because I didn't even live in that area. I didn't go to school. I was in South Toledo. But for some reason, that was, like, such a cool place to go, to Sufficient Grounds. And they had that upstairs. Everybody hung out. It was the cool high school hang. Yeah. I feel like SIP now has become the cool adult hang.
Yeah, we
Would
all
you
grew
not
up
agree?
And we're still going there. Like,
for
it's
real.
The same people, I guarantee it. But it was Big B for a little bit while I was in college at UT. So I did a few things there. But I feel like the vibe with SIP is just like that local coffee shop, like the Wi-Fi is on the receipt. That was so cool. Like,
yeah, so it's like it's obviously, I think, geared toward our age or, young adults, people that are working, people that want to maybe hybrid, they're working hybrid, but they want to go to a coffee shop and work a little bit because they had good Wi-Fi. Which you had to purchase something, and the Wi-Fi password was on your receipt.
I loved that.
That was genius.
That was, smart.
You know neighbors are not using it. You know that only the patrons are using it. It changes every day, and so you do feel a little more secure on it. Now, I mean, let's be real, it is still public Wi-Fi, guys.
Right, yes.
So
check out our Brainiac support on that, right?
For sure. But still, I mean, you can work there, and that seemed to be what most people were doing.
Well, and the tables were comfortable, too. So they were nice, big, sprawling tables for either a big group or, like, when we went upstairs with our coffees and our breakfast, we'll tell you about in a minute. When we went upstairs, there's this big, wonderful white table. We just sat at the end, and it was still like perfectly spaced for many people around us. We could have even had people sit with us, and we would have been just fine having our meeting.
Yeah. Also, I really wanted to note that it was extremely bright and cheery. Yes. So, I mean, as far as atmosphere goes, if you're looking for a cool place, young to middle age adults.
Is that us now? Are we young to middle age?
No, I think we're definitely middle aged. But still adults, people that want to work, people that want to, possibly hang out a little bit, but it did seem pretty like most people were working on
productive.
Something. It was productive.
We were there in the morning though, so I will say that. So that was a whole vibe, right? We got in there. It was a quick line. They got us in and out.
They're fast.
Yeah, I got my. What did I end up getting? I got the cold brew with oat milk, my classic, my go-to, and then we got the avocado toast with egg. Say that 10 times fast.
Yeah, right? Avocado toast with egg. It was delicious.
So good. I honestly am not an avocado toast person. I love all the pieces that made up what we got, but I hadn't really had it like that before.
It's really thick bread. Yeah. Delicious. Really grainy, so you don't
Whole
feel bad about eating it. A great avocado spread, and then they sure enough, they scrambled up an egg and put it on there. So it wasn't like runny. I don't like a runny egg.
No, it was great.
It was scrambled.
Perfect.
And they seasoned it to perfection.
Oh, that's right. The salt and pepper and the little bit of red pepper flakes too.
Yes.
That was cool. That was a win.
It was a win. So, I mean, if I'm going to say, where did I have some really yummy, like, breakfast food? And totally, I have to say, I think I go to Starbucks too much because these coffee shops were way too good.
I agree.
Like,
I might need to cut back on the other stuff because these local shops really set the bar.
That is exactly it. They set the bar. Like, why have we said that? Like, why have we been waiting in line, at these,
long drive-throughs with Starbucks when we can go to across the street to sit, honestly.
Within, I mean, we literally were in and out of there. Had we left after we got our food,
it would have been,
it was fast. There was plenty of parking. We did want to mention parking in all of these places.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because that's a big deal. A lot of times when you go to a coffee shop, you're on your way somewhere. If you're not going there to work and hang out, you're kind of like
stopping in just to grab your cold brew.
Bingo. And so that's what we did. And there was plenty of parking. They were very quick. They were very kind. You got the cold brew, which I tasted on accident. I thought it was mine.
Did.
And it was delicious.
Yeah. So
and
good.
Then I got the iced Americano. Like, we really
That's
were
right,
feeling cold drinks that morning. I think it was a little bit warmer that morning. And it was so yummy. I mean, it's hard. I'll be honest, it's going to be hard to go back to just iced coffee somewhere because the iced Americano at Sip was so flavorful. And I don't even put anything in it. I put milk in it. And there was so much flavor to it. I feel like we just can't say enough good stuff about Sip. We had such a good time there. Well, we always have a good time.
It was such a great way to start the day. I think also, like I said before, like it was a whole vibe. We were in there at the breakfast time. It was bustling. That's the best word to say.
And we ran into people we know.
Oh, that was awesome. We did run into an old coworker. That was wonderful. We were able to stop and chat and catch up. And she actually recommended the avocado toast to us.
Totally. But it really was. It was bustling. And then I come to find out that the upstairs we hung out in, if we walked a little bit farther back, there is this private conference room. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It looks so nice. It looks like it seats about 8 people at least. It's a conference room table with chairs. They have a smart TV, and you can actually rent that out and have it private. So they rent it out by the hour.
That's amazing. By the hour is important because it's a meeting then.
Totally. I mean, you could technically just go in there and work while it's not being rented out, but once you rent it, you can close it, and there's a sign for this is a private. So people can actually take their meetings there. And now, I mean, in the hybrid world of work, that's hard to do if you don't go into the office. Now you can actually meet up with somebody, pay an hourly rate and actually like have some good food and great coffee.
That's an excellent point, having that meeting space without needing, a physical brick and mortar place. If you're, working from home or working remote, then you have that physical meeting space. I didn't even think about that.
Well, and we know too, a lot of times when you go into the workplace, you get so many distractions and so many other things thrown at you that you don't really get accomplished what you were hoping you would do that day. So this is a great opportunity for you to do that. I mean,
absolutely.
And I do want to say I loved the look of everything. It was like the atmosphere was really cool. It was very contemporary. Or modern. It was like a little bit modern.
Even with like the food case and everything, you were like, this is like how they do it in New York.
It was very awesome. New York. They had this glass case with these different sandwiches that they would just pull and warm. And it was and they have great juices. I mean, I noticed this huge case with juices. And so anyway, I'd say, I mean, that is a 2 thumbs up.
Absolutely.
Local coffee place. And I don't think that they even need us to spread the word.
They don't.
People know this place. It's awesome.
Oh, the passport. Remember I got that card? They do have a loyalty card. I think almost all of these places have a loyalty program with coffee. You're there every day. But the passport for SIP was so cool. It was like a hand-drawn little booklet, and you just get the stamps. And then at the end, you can either get a T-shirt if you get like a certain number, or if you fill the whole thing, you can get a hoodie.
Nice.
Yeah, so free merch, well, not
totally.
free, I mean, but loyalty merch, that's amazing,
loyalty
right?
merch for a really cool place that clearly people have discovered, but it's still, even though it was bustling, it didn't feel overly crowded.
No.
It was a fun place to be. It was very bright, and the tables were white, and everything was very modern and cool. I think from here, though, we move into our next one, which atmosphere-wise, night and day.
Yes, very different.
But still amazing.
But amazing, yeah.
So our next location we moved to was Brewhouse.
Yeah.
And this is on Conant.
Downtown Maumee. Or Uptown, I think, right? So technically.
Yeah, I don't know which one they call it. Yes. So the Brewhouse we went to, actually later that day. Was it later that day?
It was that afternoon.
That afternoon.
Yep. We started the day off with a coffee house and ended it with coffee house.
It was the best day ever.
It was the best day.
And now you're hearing from two lovers of coffee.
We are huge fans.
We're not just like, I kind of like iced coffee. Like, no, we really love coffee and we like all different kinds. Strong. We love, we love coffee. We do. So this was really a great fit for us. Let's just say.
They were probably in the top two. Yes. Top 2 or 3 episodes we've ever done.
One of our favorite work we ever had to do moving up to
it did not feel like we were working, but we were, so it's amazing. Yeah. Thank you for letting us do this.
Yeah, totally. We hope you get...
We love sharing this with you.
Oh, totally. And I would want to know this, you know, just to know where some great coffee houses are some of the coolest places you can go hang out and like get to know somebody, have a work interview, meet up with an old friend, even a date. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't drink alcohol. Yeah. So when you're like, hey, you want to go grab a drink, sometimes it's just better to be like, let's just grab a coffee. And a muffin or, So anyway, this should hopefully help you in that.
Yeah.
So we moved to Brewhouse, and I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So we've got parking, right? So we wanted to make sure we mention, I ended up getting a spot not too far, like right around the corner by Dale's.
Sure.
There is some construction down there right now. Everything is still open. They've got signs saying that's still open. Yeah. But you just street parking right there.
So they did that project where they put just a ton of street parking, and everybody's so mad because it really backs up the traffic. But realistically, there is always parking on the street.
It was nice to find the parking to get there.
I found parking on the street immediately.
Yeah.
And then I just crossed the street. I parked across the street, but I just used the crosswalk. I crossed the street, and I was right there. They had some tables outside.
Yeah, that was nice, like little wrought iron tables.
Yeah. So if it's a nice day, or you just kind of want that bright sunshine, or you want a little bit of outdoor seating, downtown Maumee's a nice place to sit outside. So you do have that opportunity. Of course, we went inside.
We did.
And what a beautiful
It's so
space.
Wonderful.
Okay, so we go from a really modern white bright to this antique. I mean, the whole place is just filled with antiques, and that's what you sit on. So they had these like settees, like these cushioned settees. They had an old piano that was really cool. All of their furniture was different. That was very eclectic.
Yeah, like almost like thrifted, like very like unique pieces for each seat. It wasn't like the same at each table.
Yeah.
Even the tables I think were a little different, which is awesome. That's
absolutely
wonderful. It's like,
and
it feels a little like home.
It does. And it's well-made furniture. So we were really comfortable.
Yeah.
We sat in the window. So actually, it was quite sunny for us. In
it
fact, I started to get hot in the sun. But it's actually quite dark in there, but in a good way. It's just very soft lighting.
Soft lighting. That's the right way to put it. Yeah.
The ceiling was just this beautiful antique, bronzy look. I mean, just the whole place had such an interesting feel. Like they handpicked every part of it. Whoever, the owners, they really put some time and handpicked that. So I think I really enjoyed that. Yeah. I felt like you were like either at home or at, maybe like grandma's, but like your grandma's really cool.
Yeah. Cool grandma.
Cool grandma. So what did you order? Do you remember what you ordered?
I got the flat white, which we had, by the way, I was not too familiar, as much as we love coffee, I'm not too familiar with like the fancy drinks. I'm like very simple when it comes to everything I order. So I was just kind of almost expressing like, I don't really know what that is. And the gentleman behind the counter actively did not wait for me to ask, but actively shared information to help me with my order, which was amazing. It felt good.
Yeah, he was so cool. He went through each type. This is a latte. It's an espresso with milk, and then this is a flat white. It has more foam. So he kind of walked through it. But you're right. It was very. You didn't ask.
No.
But you clearly didn't know, and you had expressed that, and he was awesome.
Yeah.
And so now we really, we learned a lot from him.
Yeah, it was delicious. It was definitely different. But it was very smooth, the flat white, if you haven't had one before. It was trying something new was cool, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I had the ability to do that because he explained a bunch of different drinks that I could make a choice with, so that was cool.
Yeah, that was cool. I really thought that was a great touch to a small coffee shop, if you don't normally go or you're not really sure of the different drinks. And then I just tried their drip coffee because I really like to know what the guy who opened it, he was really into roasting beans. This was kind of his thing. So I really wanted to taste what their coffee, what it,
their
and it
daily
was
pick,
their daily pick. Yeah. So I did the drip coffee, and then so the male owner, and I'm pretty sure they're a couple. He's the coffee guy, but she's the baker. So her specialty is cheesecake.
Oh yeah.
And right.
Remembering that cheesecake. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I had to get a piece of cheesecake. You ended up getting a brownie.
I did.
You got
good.
in the glass. You got the brownie, which was quite dense. That was a big brownie.
Big brownie.
You could share that for sure. Which you did. You took
it
home.
I took it home to my husband, yeah.
But then I got a slice of the cheesecake, which was, first of all, huge.
It was very large.
I think
and then we shared it.
Yeah, we shared it, yeah. Because you were like, I'm not big on cheesecake.
I'm not.
And then you took a bite and you were like, whoa.
This is cheesecake, yeah.
So it's so airy and fluffy.
Yes.
It was not dense. It was not thick. It really was not heavy. It didn't actually sit. I mean, it was end of the day and we were about to go home and eat dinner.
Yeah.
But it didn't sit hard or anything. It was a really light and fluffy, airy cheesecake. I think I tried the Bailey's one.
Yes.
And it had this cookie bottom.
So good.
It was amazing. And apparently, we're not the first ones to talk about this. People know about these cheesecakes, and a lot of times they'll just go and they'll order cheesecakes for events. If you're having birthdays, or when the holidays are coming. If you're not a big if you're like me, I don't bake. I mean, I have a mixer, and it never gets used because I just don't bake. But I don't always want to get like some treat from Kroger.
Something quick. Yeah,
it's like I always end up just getting like a Kroger cake. If I want something special for a special occasion, dude,
this cheesecake is
this
it.
cheesecake is
I
it.
tell my mom she gets cheesecake for Thanksgiving sometimes. So I think this is the one.
This is the one.
It was definitely, as Kim mentioned, I'm not a cheesecake person, but this was a good cheesecake.
Yeah, I did think this environment. The last one was quite bustling and cool, and you kind of wanted to look a little hip. I don't know. I just like the next time I go there, I just want to be cool and hip, or just I don't know. That was just the feel I had in the last one. This one was very laid back. There was a job interview going on at the table next to us.
Oh, that's right. Oh, and remember that little table in the back too, where you could go and get like almost like your own little.
Yep.
So it kind of goes to the way that the shop itself. It goes to like a V at the back. So there was just a nice little one-seater, like two-seater table, and then also some
a sofa,
big chairs. Yeah, right by the fire.
And there was a little fireplace. It was a little. So yeah, if you go back behind, it ended up having this little private area. What a great little spot for like a second date or after your date to go back there, sit on a really comfortable sofa, which was also kind of like an antique, but a really cool, like a little bit overstuffed.
Yeah.
And then a fake little fire going. It was so holiday too. It was so wintry in a way. If you want the sunny, you can sit outside, but that place is going to be great for the cold weather. Like
You're right.
You're going to want to hang there.
Cuddle up, like get cozy.
Yeah, they have multiple cushiony seats, and I really I thought it was just a little bit more personal and a little bit more laid back, comfortable. There was a little old man behind us that got a muffin and a coffee, and he sat on the settee and he just had his little time.
Yeah.
Just read the newspaper, and I just thought, this is that was the feel of Brewhouse in Maumee, and I think we properly explained it.
I think so too. I hope so. It's a great place. We've been there before. I actually went there for a work meeting a couple years ago, and it was a similar feel. Like it was comfortable. It was like chill. I don't know if I sound stupid saying that.
No, it was. So we move on. So what we did then is we crossed the street because Maumee actually has another coffee shop in the vicinity, just actually catty corner, across the street, Georgette's. So Georgette's, we weren't able to get in because we went a little late.
We went late, yeah.
They were
forgot
closed.
to check the hours.
But that's okay, because I really did want to talk about it. What Georgette's, I guess the biggest thing they're known for, a couple of things. One, they are actually affiliated with Sunshine Communities. So Georgette and her family actually started Sunshine Communities, and which is a nonprofit in the area, and which actually houses, it's a community for persons with disabilities, people that cannot live at home and be cared for 24/7 at home. They can go to Sunshine and be cared for. So it's a really beautiful organization to align with, and they're not too far close to Maumee.
Yeah.
But so Georgette's is affiliated with that nonprofit. They actually sometimes get some of the people from Sunshine, if they are high functioning and want to work and have a job, they actually can work at Georgette. So it's just really cool. So it's just a great feeling. It's a great place to patronize. Great coffee. I have had their coffee.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Well, and they sell the beans, right?
So that's what I think they're really most known
grounds.
for. Like, a lot of people go in and get their coffee for home.
Yeah.
I see people go in all the time and buy their bags of coffee. The stuff at the store is just not doing it. Or maybe it's a special occasion and you just want to have really nice coffee.
Well, you want to support a local company, especially when tied with a nonprofit.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I really say I have had multiple coffee drinks there and meetings there. And I've really always enjoyed it. And I think that, from a community standpoint, that's a really cool one to patronize too.
Yeah,
so.
I love it. I'm glad you mentioned it.
Yeah, so go get your cheesecake at Brewhouse. Pick up a to-go coffee there. Run across to Georgette's. Get your grounds, and then you have your dessert and your dessert coffee, for your event. You know, and you've just done both, and they're right there across the street.
I might do exactly that.
I know, right? So that is 3 of our 5 that we visited. I think we've properly explained them.
Yeah, we did. I think we did them justice. We really did have a great time. Kim and I love doing things like this, but this, like we mentioned, was an extra special, close to our heart. So getting to visit these coffee shops and getting to enjoy everything that we did, it was awesome. So we've got 2 more to tell you about.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back.
Yep. See you then.
Introducing the new My Buckeye app. Now you can manage your Buckeye broadband account from your iOS or Android device on the go. View and pay your bill, check your data usage, or get help with any technical questions. You can even upgrade and make changes to your Buckeye broadband account, just like that. To get started, just download the app from your device's app store and sign in with your My Buckeye username and password.
Welcome back to Living Local. We are telling you all about our coffee tour that we took this past week, and we're so excited to tell you about the next 2 places. We went downtown for this one. Of course, can't be in Toledo without mentioning downtown. We are frequent visitors.
Yes.
So we decided to start with Maddie and Bella. I believe they actually may have a lot to do with the Coffee Quest, so special shout out to that. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure.
This place was wonderful. It was at Lafayette in South St. Clair. Street parking, easy. We used the app.
Parking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Used the app downtown and paid parking that way. Got in. Very nice. I actually straight up just told the woman in there, I'm hungry. She's like, okay, well, gave me a recommendation. It was amazing. I ended up ordering the egg and cheese on a pretzel bun specifically with the bacon jam.
Oh boy.
That's why I'm like, let's jump right into this food.
Yeah.
This sandwich was amazing. It was so good. I'm still thinking about it.
No, they have great food.
It was so good.
I feel like when I first started going to Maddie and Bella's, and I always went to the Perrysburg location, so they do have one on Louisiana.
That's right.
They have a Perrysburg location, but this is their downtown location. I love the building, so I've been there multiple times. I always like their avocado toast. We're the avocado toast. And they had like different versions of it. Like they could do different things.
They do have a variety. Yeah.
But I love that she suggested to you, she was like, you have to do the egg and cheese on the pretzel.
Yeah.
But like whatever that is, like pretzel bagel,
it's like a pretzel bun
or something. And yes, that looked amazing.
So good. It was so good. It was like, honestly, it was like salty and the bacon jam was a little sweet. I'm not a huge fan of onions, but it was like not a bother. Like it was delicious.
Yeah, it looked great. And we hit it around, we were there around lunchtime. So I actually they had a grilled cheese on the menu, which I always like. A lot of these coffee houses aren't just breakfast. They do offer some sandwich options. And so they had a grilled cheese. I already know their bread is awesome. That thick, like awesome grainy bread. So I said, okay, I'll do the grilled cheese. And then we went with a similar drink.
Yeah, my go-to. I did the cold brew with the oat milk.
And I did the iced Americano. And, when I first tried Maddie and Bella's, they were a vendor somewhere, and they were handing out little iced coffees.
Yes.
And I think they were little iced Americanos, actually. And I remember tasting it and thinking, this is what an iced coffee should taste like. And mine had always been so watered down. They just didn't have a lot of flavor, and I really like to taste coffee.
Yeah.
So their iced Americano was very flavorful, but something about their coffee is very subtle. It's delicious, but it's not really tangy it's just a very subtle, very drinkable coffee.
Yeah.
So I always like their coffee on ice. Whether I really generally do that, and we both did. It was lunchtime, so we kind of wanted to start with that.
A wonderful way to wash that amazing and delicious sandwich down.
Totally, and let's talk about my grilled cheese, because I get it.
Yeah.
And of course, it is that huge bread, super toasted,
magical,
amazing, cheesy, and it also had cream cheese on it.
Yeah, surprise.
Which I did not expect, but it was a very welcome surprise.
So good.
I was like, oh my gosh, Ronnie, I'm literally eating like heaven with cheese and cream cheese, and it was wonderful. And listen, we knew we were going to go to a coffee house right after this one and eat again, but I still ate the whole thing.
We did. We were like, we have another stop, but it doesn't matter. This food's too good.
Oh, totally. And no, I think, location-wise, atmosphere-wise, it's very cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's definitely one of the ones that you always see, especially, social media. Coming from my perspective, I'm always on Toledo social media, but yeah. It's definitely a very aesthetic place. Is
sure,
the right word to
a lot
say.
of high tops.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think most of their seating there down is high top. But it was nice. We sat up in the window, and the seat, even though it was a high top chair, it had the bar. It was comfortable.
So comfortable.
We were really comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't remember feeling like, oh, I'm at a high top and I want to jump down. Like, no, we sat there a long time.
Yeah, those were good chairs.
Yeah, and people, it wasn't super bustling at lunch, but people were coming and going. Some people were working. It was a pretty low-key. I'm sure they're probably a lot busier in the morning.
Oh, yeah, downtown. Well, close to downtown.
Right. It was also really nice, really welcome that we sat down to wait, and they brought out our coffees to us. They served us our coffees. They didn't have to do that. They could have just called our name.
Right.
And then they brought our food out. And so I just thought, well, that's really nice. We're not at a restaurant. We're at a coffee house, and I wish there was a way. We probably should have tipped them or something, but you just didn't expect it. Yeah, we'll go back. We'll continue to patronize Maddie and Bella's plenty of times. And we're talking about them. That's their tip. Right. For all of our many listeners. So yeah, that it's a really nice locally owned place.
And I had only really had Maddie and Bella at events, to be honest. Like, obviously they're Toledo staple. They're around. I've had them at Zoodadoo a couple times. Tried wonderful, amazing. A welcome vision when I see the coffee at Maddie and Bella's table,
of course.
But it was nice to go and see it firsthand. I haven't been to the other location, but
we have, but it was during COVID, and remember they closed the indoors
again,
and they served us outdoors. So we sat outside on a bench.
Sit outside. Oh, that feels so long ago.
It feels like so long ago, but it wasn't that. Really,
it was only like last year.
I don't know. But yeah, we sat outside, and downtown Perrysburg is so fun to sit outside.
It is,
and we had a really nice afternoon doing that. Even though we couldn't go inside. No, I've been inside. It's nice. It's small. smaller, lower tables. But I've had a meeting there, and it was also very nice to be there.
Yeah, it's nice.
So I don't think you can ever really go wrong with them.
Wonderful experience.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we jumped in a car.
We did.
And we drove over to Black Kite Coffee.
Black Kite Coffee, Collingwood and Delaware.
Our final destination.
Yep. And so, quick tip: do not park in the parking lot that looks like you're supposed to park. It's next to the building. There's signs everywhere. Don't park there. I still parked there, and we did see the sign when we walked in that said "Don't park there." So, heads up, park on the street on Delaware. There's quite a few spots right up there. You just kind of turn around. There's a little lot on the other side off of Delaware. So
sure,
yeah.
we asked them when we went in, hey, is it okay if we parked over there? Even though we had
signs everywhere. There's a sign at the register, and we still
towaway zone. But we were like, nah, it's probably fine,
it's
right?
Probably okay.
It wasn't.
No.
They said no. Just make sure you move your car because apparently the neighbor is a little bit.
They're passionate about their parking.
Absolutely, they're a little bit ornery. So, so you moved the car.
I did move the car in the rain, but we still had what I ordered, which is, like I said, I tried somewhere new at each of these places, and then also went for my go-to for the morning. But here, I was looking at the menu, and they had all their fall drinks, and so there was like pumpkin and
yeah, they have great specialty drinks.
Yeah, it was wonderful. There was a whole bunch of them. Yeah, so the one that caught my eye was the apple blossom. And it was apple blossom chai. And when I said that I was probably going to get it, the gentleman behind the counter said that he could do it with espresso. So I ordered that,
yes,
which was probably one espresso too many for us that day.
Yeah, we'll talk about that.
And then the bagel balls. So they've got these wonderful like muffin, like they're made out of bagel, like but they're looking like muffin shape. And they're filled.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And they have lots of different flavors of them.
5 or 6 different kinds.
They're so cool. Every one of them, I was like, oh, I want
Which one do I want?
I know.
Yeah, I was between I went from the vegetarian to the hummus to the breakfast. Oh no, I'll do this one. And then I landed on the bagel ball, which was what he said was their like one of their most popular. And there was like a red pepper cream cheese in it. It was so good. And we were full.
Yeah.
But it was delicious.
You
I ate the whole thing.
Yeah, you were raving about you loved the red pepper part of it. I went with the drip coffee again this time. You know, so I want to taste their coffee. I know Black Kite Coffee has great coffee. So I said, I'm going to do a drip coffee. And he said, do you want the, I don't know, small or large? And I said, just the small. I ended up getting a coffee mug the size of my head.
Yes, that was a big mug.
I don't know if they just gave me the large or if the large is like an insane cup. I don't know. But I got, the coffee, and then I also got one of the bagel balls, but mine was the breakfast one.
Yes.
And it had sausage, egg, and cheese filling.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
And at that point, I was so full, but I really wanted to try one of those, and I wanted to talk about their food. What we should talk about, the second we walked in, so Black Kite Coffee, the building is so cool.
Beautiful.
It's
really
a really old,
yeah.
beautiful old building, and they've done such a beautiful job making it cool.
The high ceilings.
High
cool.
ceilings. Lots of windows, so it is very bright and welcoming. Really nice. It's on the corner, so it's just a really cool beautiful building.
Like view almost. Like
It was just fun. We sat in the window.
Yeah.
We had these really comfy, cushiony seats with a little table, so we sat right in the window. The bagel balls, those were just awesome.
So good.
Yeah, those were awesome. And they're not too big. So if you just want something, kind of quick but filling, they're really good. The coffee was great. I drank half of it, and then we got back to the office, and literally, like, my heart was racing because I think we kind of overdid the coffee the other day. But
we had a lot that day.
It's not weak coffee. I mean, when you go to these, you're gonna get good coffee.
It's good.
You're not gonna get watered down.
Yeah.
Their coffee is awesome. So
that apple blossom chai with the espresso was delicious. Definitely different than anything I'd really had before. And I'm not, I keep talking, I sound like such a picky eater. I don't like caramel, but I like it in my coffee every once in a while. And it's just because I overdid it on caramel coffee.
Yeah, they did the drizzle.
So the drizzle was, and I think there might have been some in the drink too, but it was so good.
It was good. I tasted
caramel
yours.
apple, basically. It was delicious. It was creamy.
Oh, yeah.
It was so good.
I know. I tasted yours and it was awesome.
Yeah.
I was glad you did something kind of different from the coffee because you're right. It was a treat. Like, that was an absolute treat.
It was a treat. It was more of like a dessert coffee.
Yeah. Also, when we walked in, the smell of cinnamon.
Oh, that was amazing, our timing.
Oh, I was not hungry, but I was like, they're making cinnamon rolls. Like, that was your instant, like, Grandma's making cinnamon rolls. And that was the case. And unfortunately, we got there at the wrong time and they had just pulled them out of the oven. They weren't ready yet. Because that's what I would have ordered.
I'm going to go back.
And I think that they're pretty famous for these cinnamon rolls.
Oh, yeah? That's their signature item, huh?
I mean, the whole place just, it was like, it just wafted. It was the most wonderful smell. And it was so warming. It was such a nice location. Not super busy, but I think it's because of the location.
And
it's not as busy.
I don't know if I remember their hours off the bat. Like, I don't know if I could tell you what their hours are, but remember they had that.
They're later.
They had that wine there.
Right. So
they have like a wine shelf that you can purchase a bottle and you can enjoy it there.
That took me by surprise.
Yeah.
So not only did they have a shelf of wine bottles, but they also had a cooler with cold wines, and that you can actually enjoy a glass of wine there as well. And honestly, if you go there, you'd want to. Like, the location is really cool. The atmosphere is really cool. Mm-hmm. That is a cool date.
That is a cool date.
I would say you could really shine taking somebody to a cool small place like that people don't know about necessarily. Yeah. And then ordering a bottle of wine, and they'll open it and you can drink it right there on location. So he said they used to do wine tastings. They haven't done them quite as much lately. Okay. I'm sure probably with like COVID and everything, the changes, people kind of cut back and stuff like that. But I would imagine they'll probably bring those back. And but honestly, just go there and get a bottle of wine. Nothing was overpriced. I mean,
no, it was wonderful.
Obviously you're not going to pay per glass, so you're saving money and you get to enjoy a bottle of wine with some nice company.
Yeah, that was cool. It was definitely different. I hadn't seen that, especially at a coffee shop.
Totally. It was cool. Really cool.
I had to give a shout out for that.
Yeah, and I told you, those are the huge houses down there, like mansion type houses. And there are B&Bs that are like Rent My Mansion, and they talk about Black Kite. They're like, we're just a block from Black Kite, so you can walk down and get a nice cup of coffee, or walk down and get a glass of wine or a bottle of wine. So yeah. Yeah,
cool, that was
location.
Good.
We really enjoyed our time there, and I think that was a great place to end our coffee tour.
It was a great place.
So
there are so many wonderful coffee shops in this area.
Seriously, I mean, I feel I have to stop going to those big corporate-y ones because we're doing ourselves a disservice.
We are.
These local coffee shops.
That's where it's at.
That's where it's at. They know what they're doing with their food, with their baking,
right?
With their coffee. Oh my gosh!
Of course, the coffee.
I mean,
this we just need a tea drinker next time to go with us.
I know. If you're a tea drinker, I'm sure the tea was lovely. But we're coffee drinkers, and this is our coffee tour.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, speaking of those mansions down there, you were kind of giving me a heads up. One of them might be haunted. So next episode, we're ready for Halloween.
Good point. Because one of those mansions, it was called the Mansion View. It was a bed and breakfast for a long time in Toledo. Friends of mine were the innkeepers there. It ended up the city sold it to a private. It's a private residence now, but at the time, very haunted, and ghost hunters did visit them.
Oh,
okay. So they'd go to the university, they'd do their talks, and then they would take the group to Mansion View.
That's awesome.
And do tours. And they'd talk to a little ghost boy who was 5, I believe. And so it was a very interesting time that we got to hang out at the Mansion View with our friends who were the innkeepers. I'll always remember it. It was so cool. But what you're saying, what you are alluding to.
Ghost hunters.
Yes. So next episode.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're getting into October.
Our favorite.
We love Halloween. We love ghost stories.
We're pretty basic, I guess.
But we really wanted to dive into some of those episodes, those reality shows, or the ghost hunter shows that
Travel Channel, all those places,
Channel, the ones that have touched on Toledo locations, because you guys know, we know Toledo's haunted.
Yeah.
We've talked about it in the past. We've talked about the different haunting.
Yeah, we had Levi and Lilacs mentioned in a previous episode.
Toledo, the Yacht
Club. Yeah, we've talked about it before. We're going to talk about it again.
Oh, yeah, we sure are. So we're going to watch these, and we're going to tell you all about them.
Yeah.
And I'm very excited about that. It's just another way for you to learn a little bit about our local hauntings.
Yeah. And then, of course, we also are doing an escape room in October, too, so that'll be exciting. So as always, we love having you guys listen. We love doing this. We would appreciate your listens, appreciate your subscribes, your downloads, everything. So,
yeah. We appreciate it. Have a great day.